Let's begin this morning by reminding you that, of course, you did get through Monday.
And now, of course, you know that's the worst part, you know, the starting of the new week. But hey,
Is it really the
covered.
worst part?
Yeah, it's like that getting out of bed, dragging yourself out of the house, getting through Monday traffic, you know. But hey, it's Tuesday.
Of course, it is said that Tuesdays are the most productive day of the week. So hey, get ready for achieving some pace today, you know.
So get up and let's get going, especially with us, Wake Up Nigeria, your premium breakfast show.
Okay, I know Tokwe is getting set to be very productive this morning, Tokwe, right?
In fact, I feel already productive. Like, Tuesday is definitely going to be the best day of the week, just far.
Definitely would kick off the show now, and it will get on till 8:45 a.m. I am Mike Messikeno.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Remember that we're live streaming at tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, on Facebook at TVC Connect.
If you want to send in comments, use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
You know that app we're always talking about? It's still available just for you. You need to download it as soon as you can. You can go to the Android or iOS store so you can watch us and so many other great TVC shows from anywhere in the world.
Okay, so we kick it off today, Tuesday. You know how it is.
We have some music. We have music producer, songwriter, and pianist per excellence, Chimezie.
So I wouldn't fail you.
Dr. Ifeyinwa Omisiete will be taking us on the controversial phenomenon called force feeding and its dangers. That will be on nutrition.
And then right after that, we'll be bringing you another musical act, this time from alternative soul singer, legendary Sun.
Chidiebere Njoku will also be joining us much later to discuss parenting and how best to do it. And then we have something on pet care. We'll take a look at things to know before getting a rabbit as a pet. Please don't use it for rabbit stew.
Wow, Mike, really?
I heard rabbit stew is sweet.
And bringing up the Rhea Award is award-winning Emmanuel Elemobayo.
Friday, TGIF, you know, thank God it's Friday. Now this fine young man.
All right.
Only the brown rubber band.
Hey.
How far now? On a day.
How's it going, everyone?
What's happening? So you guys spoke about the bout over the weekend?
Oh, well, we did. We touched
Extensively?
on it. We didn't really go deep in there because we knew you were going to be arriving.
Joshua
to
now.
talk about.
We have gone.
Are you sure?
I said Joshua, Fury and Wilder, man.
Yeah.
So on Sunday morning, I planned to watch it, and this is what happened. You know, there are fights, there are always pre-fights before it and all of that. So it was estimated at about 5 a.m. Sunday morning. That's when the fight will start. So I'd already slept, okay, 5 a.m. Thinking I'd set my alarm, but I just woke up 6:15.
No way.
I just they were just finishing round one.
Wow.
You know, by the time so I watched it live. By the time it ended, I thought I was dreaming. Like I had to be cleaning my eyes. Mike, have you woken up?
It was
It was that
surreal.
It was
Yeah.
that. It was
There
that.
was
It was
actually
that
a
mad.
betting company that put a 30
It was
to
that
1
mad.
at the last minute.
It was that. It was that
Like
mad.
a few hours to the bout, they were so
way.
sure Wilder was going to win. So it was a 30 to 1. So imagine anyone who, put
bet?
a bet on it.
Oh, my goodness.
They would have made millions that Fury would win. But it's crazy. Why would you bet on Wilder when Fury literally won the first one? We know Fury won the first one.
Yeah.
Before it was
That's
turned
it,
to a
yeah.
draw.
And then incidentally, if you notice, he wore green and white gloves.
Okay.
And then wore a
saying
green.
it
No,
took
no,
the
he wore a
blood of
green and
Nigerians?
white
Mouth
mouth guard
guard.
that had Nigeria on it. Like that. So people think it wasn't Photoshop. He wore a green and white gloves. I watched it live. Baba was. You know why that has Nigerian roots.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he did
Mike.
mention it. Yeah, so there was a time when Joshua went up about how Fufu gets him all pumped up. And then while I was in an interview, he was like, he also has Nigerian roots, man. So if you check it out, he does.
Wow.
And then he goes like, look, man, but the point is that Fury said, I would leak your blood. And he did it.
And he actually did. And that was the
For me,
grossest.
that was the end of the
It was,
bout.
yeah, like,
The moment he did it, like,
it was,
they say you don't kick a man who is already down.
Yeah.
And he literally licked a man who was already bleeding.
he said, so what actually happened was that I was expecting him to win, but the manner in which he did it, I don't even think Wilder would take the rematch clause. Baba
yeah,
had
the whole
to,
thing
Baba
with
had to go to the
President
hospital.
Yeah.
A suspected perforated eardrum. It was bad.
It was
From
really
round
bad.
2, round 3, like I was scared for him.
And
If
you
they
know-
didn't throw in the towel,
Yeah.
he could have
It
had
would
a
have been
brain
a big
damage.
We talked about it
It was
yesterday.
serious, man. It
In
was
fact,
serious,
that's
man.
crazy.
So, but Joshua is up next. Let's see if Joshua, if he doesn't take the
No,
rematch,
which
what do you
Joshua?
think? Joshua versus Fury, what do you think will happen?
I don't know.
Which Joshua?
I don't think it's gonna happen that soon, though.
You
Joshua
want
in
to
the
kill
Bible.
Joshua.
What's
And
wrong
that
with you?
better be Joshua in the Bible.
Who told you that?
See, some people are telling me that Joshua,
in the
it depends
Bible.
on the tactics, everything. Do you
Yeah.
see, Fury
After-
is
after-
see,
after
unless
this,
it's a
Joshua,
David
you
and
should
Goliath
just-
situation.
Oh my days.
I'm worried for Joshua. Jokes apart, as much as I like Joshua,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm worried for him. He will be lucky
Okay.
to survive this.
No,
Yeah.
but you know, in terms of height, they're better matched than this last bout.
Who?
In
What?
terms of height. in
No,
terms
they are
of
not.
height.
oh.
They are not. Oh.
Really?
Fury is 6'9".
He's
Okay.
6'9".
Wilder
Wow.
is 6'7".
He's rich, eh?
Joshua is 6'6".
It's not
Joshua
today.
is even the shortest of the
short
three.
man.
Wow.
Yes. They are not. oh.
So as it stands,
That guy is
something
huge.
can happen.
huge.
Let's hope something can happen. If I was technically, I would say, if I was Joshua, I would delay the fight.
That's the thing.
Till
For
probably
like a
next
year.
year.
Yes,
So, but if
exactly.
he
Yes.
goes up against Fury now,
Nah.
this is not. I love Joshua. Well, we are going to be
Make
patriotic.
enough
But
money
if you're a
this
technical guy, Baba, calm down. Don't go now. Because so the way they'll take Licky when they're feeling down.
No, but do you think that Fury has anything against Joshua? Because remember, Joshua offered to help him, to help him practice, but he eventually didn't turn up. He was busy in Nigeria taking selfies with coffee, but that's fine.
Wow.
But he had already offered
Did I
to
see
support
petty
Fury.
much?
He did not. So could it be that Fury might be like, I was looking at you as a fellow Briton. Now I won those belts.
No, I think for him, if they fight, it's going to be very friendly. It's going to be
Yes,
easier because if it
unlike
was
the
Wilder,
Wilder one,
if it was
yes.
Wilder,
Wilder
it would have
was
been
really
harder. For
nasty.
4 years now, his team and Wilder's team have been trying to get a fight.
Yes.
They've not agreed. But with Fury, it's going to be more friendlier. So they've sparred once. So they are cool, right? They are cool. So they might just, let's take this thing cool and all
I
that.
just say I would risk a Fury Joshua than a Joshua Wilder because Wilder is a beast. That's the word to use.
No, where he's beast.
Wilder is someone that
so-
fights to the finish. Like,
So you know what?
Wait.
I think there's so much about behind the scenes that we don't even know. There's so much in terms of business that they're going to be thinking about.
Yeah.
How much is going to be made from these bouts, etc. We are thinking about the physical here, but I'm thinking
about
about the money. It depends on how much money they're throwing at these guys.
no, but if there's
how
a Fury
much.
Joshua, it can't be less than 250 apiece. We're
No,
talking
Maybe, I don't know.
no, it won't get that much. But the thing that happens is that
they ought to.
the thing that happens is that for both of them, it's about unification. You want a unified champion.
But
And it will probably happen.
see, the thing is unified already in Britain, Jerry. After all, they are both British.
You know what? We'll definitely be getting more updates on that with our sports news regularly. But for now, it's time for us to take the news.
All right, I'm on that one. My name is Mary Bashua Alimi, and we begin with the latest on the alleged killing of a player of Remo Stars Football Club, Tiamiu Kazim, by the police. At least one person has died during a protest against the incident by residents of Shagamu in Ogun State. The demonstration took place on the streets and was later taken to the palace of the Akaribo of Remoland, with the aggrieved residents condemning the act. Kazim Tiamiu, popularly known as Kaka, died on Saturday while allegedly trying to evade arrest by operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Reactions are already coming in over the incident, and Super Eagles and Heartland goalkeeper Ikechukwu Ezenwa has this to say.
Yesterday I cried because I know him, I played against him. So it's something that it gives me, as in, I don't know how to explain. I just have to say God knows the best. Yesterday when I got the news, I shed tears because it's someone I play against and now he's no more. So I think, I don't know what to say, God should take all the glory in everything, but may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Muhammad Adamu, has ordered an investigation into the killing of Tiamiu Kazim. Head of the investigation team is the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Force Criminal Investigation Division, Anthony Ogbizi. The police chief also commiserated with the family and friends of the deceased, calling for calm and assuring that justice will be achieved as anyone found culpable will be arrested. The Edo State Police Command says it is on the heels of criminals who invaded Ubogwe community in Ovia Northeast local government area of the state, which led to the death of one Akindo Adebayo. Travelers were held down for hours on the ever-busy Benin-Lagos Expressway following the protest by youth of the community. Public relations officer of the command, Chidi Nwabuzo, disclosed that suspected headsmen had invaded Ubogwe community and abducted Mr. Adebayo, who was later found dead. He confirmed that it was anger over the death that forced the villagers to block the busy expressway in protest. The spokesman appealed to the people of the state to go about their normal duties with the assurance that the perpetrators will be apprehended and brought to book. Still on security issues, service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police have met with President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors. The details of their meeting has not been disclosed as they did not brief a State House correspondent after the gathering. This is the first meeting after a leaked memo from the Office of the National Security Advisor informing the President of the dangers of allowing the Chief of Staff to interfere in security matters. And President Buhari has approved the constitution of a National Humanitarian Coordination Committee to oversee all humanitarian actions in the country. It will be chaired and co-chaired by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development and the National Security Advisor as well. The committee will, among other functions, provide a national vision for humanitarian actions, advise on coordination and settle disputes. It will also propose policies that enhance seamless delivery of humanitarian aid, facilitate humanitarian interventions, and promote transparency and accountability. 2 other states in the region also held a public hearing organized by lawmakers on the bill for the establishment of the security initiative. In Ondo State, different issues cropped up, but Governor Rotimi Akeredolu is optimistic that Operation Amotekun will help to reduce crime in the region.
That you want to protect must have a buy-in. If they believe in it, well and good. But I'm sure they believe in it. That's why you can see the people who have thrown in here, people who have come in to be part of this public area.
The information from River State will now bring them together and now finalize to have one formidable standard bill. Then we now pass any day from 26 we can pass into law.
And in Osun State, lawmakers listened to the input of stakeholders and afterwards promised to consider their submissions before passing the bill into law.
In a recent discussion with my colleagues at the Conference of Southwest Speakers, I stressed the utmost importance for all and sundry to come together and make Amotekun a resounding success. The level of acceptability by our people, devoid of religious and political affiliation, has further emboldened us to never stop until this is achieved.
If Amotekun works, investment window will be opened. Amotekun will give wings to our Economic and Investment Summit, as well as Osun Investment Promotion Agency, which are our windows to economic and industrial transformation.
And that's it on the news updates for this hour. We'll bring you the weather forecast for the day, and after that, a sport with Tope.
Yeah. Okay. So let's quite a number of papers here. Let's take a look at the headlines this morning. We'll kick off from The Nation, and we have here PDP to demand Buhari's removal by Supreme Court. Two riders underneath. The first one says, "We will ask for sack of Oyetola, Ganduje, Masari, and El Rufai." And just beside there, you can see jobless opposition leaders should join rice farmers, says APC. And there's a picture story here. All for Amotekun, a cross-section of potential Amotekun core at the public hearing on the Operation Amotekun bill in Akure, Ondo State yesterday. There's a long jump line there. Miyetti, Allah, OPC, Khan, Islamic group, others back Amotekun. That jump line takes you to page 2 and 3 where you can see it. And then top, above the flag of the paper, you can see the army clashes with a general over seized 136 billion naira. Crisis over ownership, and footballers' death. 5 feared dead as policemen and protesters battle. And beside that, CDS 6 security forces synergy. Underneath the flag, there's some business report there. Nigeria's economy records 2.27% annual growth. All of this on the front page of The Nation.
We also have the Punch newspaper with us as well. It says APC fumes as PDP demands review of Buhari's Supreme Court victory. Certificate forgery allegation against president established at Apex Court, says PDP. Venture into farming if you are jobless, ruling party tells opposition. Just beside the flag there, it says federal government shortlists Ethiopian Airlines, others for aircraft maintenance leasing facility. It also says Southwest states hold public hearing on Amotekun. Just under the photo story there, it says Remo Stars player, 2 killed as police disperse Shagamu protesters. It also says here 4 burned to death after Edo ritual killing. Police detain Oshun man for allegedly defiling stepdaughter. And on 2023, Lagos APC backs Tinubu, says ex-governor qualified. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
Okay, let's take a look at this day. PDP plays the spoiler, heads back to Supreme Court for review of judgment on Buhari. And the annotation underneath, 2 of them, first one says to ask for reconsideration of verdicts on Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Oshun governorship polls. APC, opposition party, impediment to political revolution. And there's the picture story there is one at the Nigeria Stock Exchange. A number of people there. Beside that picture, CDS 6 end to rivalry among security agencies to check insecurity. The writer says Buhari and service chiefs hold special meeting. A jump line underneath that picture story says NBA invasion of Justice Odili's residence, the basis rule of law. And right above the flag there, top of the paper at 2.55% in the 4th quarter. Nigeria records highest economic growth since 2016. GDP beats IMF projection, grew by 2.27%. That's the first writer. The second one says analysts urge federal government to tackle insecurity and enhance non-oil sector activities. And beneath all of that, oil price slumps to $56 as coronavirus spreads globally. All of this on the front page of this day.
I have the Guardian newspaper here with me. It says, at public hearings, Yoruba leaders okay Amotekun. It has come to stay, says Akeredolu. It also says here, Falaye seeks prosecutorial power. Tinubu not against Amotekun, Miyetti Allah back security agency. We have a photo story here from Social Media Week where our very own Morayo, host of Your View on TVC, was part of a panel yesterday. Of course, the panel theme, Defining and Regulating Hate Speech, with an amazing panel right there. And I'll wrap with this. It says, PDP seeks review of 2019 presidential election verdict. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
Okay, that's all we can take on the headlines of the dailies this morning. We'll take this short break. And when we come back, traffic in Lagos, that's what we'll be looking at.
Welcome back. Now we are about to give tips on the best route for you this morning to get to your destination faster. As always, we encourage that you help other road users by dropping relevant traffic situation reports on all our social media pages using the hashtag WakeUpNigeria. This morning, we're going to be starting our journey from Ojodu Bega to CMS Central Park. But quickly, before I get this out, I would call on Mary, Titi, and Mike if they have any quick updates before my internet picks up.
All right, then. From what I can see here, it's a standstill from Stadium. That's Stadium Barracks heading towards Ojuelegba. Apparently, a trailer fell on Ojuelegba Bridge this morning, so it's a standstill. So you might want to consider alternative routes, especially if you're heading to the island. Wow. Also, moving traffic along Abeokuta Expressway, going towards Ikeja, along National Ikeja inside and towards Oshodi. That update, though, was about 32 minutes ago, so you might not want to put your mind too much on that. There's a possibility it's still the same, but there's also a possibility that the traffic is even worse by now. Someone said, you can tell today's traffic would be gangster. CMS is already a mess. So if you're around CMS this morning, we wish you strength. And there's no traffic jam in going, that's just a saying. So for now, that's what I have.
There's something here. There's a broken down truck just after Maroa bus stop heading into VI, just after the LCC toll road. At LCC toll road, that's the handle tweeting that this came in just about 40 minutes ago. So I don't know if anything has been done about that truck.
I actually saw it's 45 minutes, so I was like, probably it's been moved. That was what I did.
But you know, there's also construction happening around that
exact
junction, that Maroa junction. So it'll make it even more complicated. And that area was always tense anyway, so. Well, that's what we have, I guess.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm taking our journey from Ojodu Bega all the way to CMS Central Park. As we heard, there's traffic, a lot of traffic at CMS at the moment. Now, this should take you approximately 1 hour, 38 minutes to get to CMS Central Park, if that is your final bus stop. So now it's taking us all through Latif Jakonde, that's Agidingbi, all through to Ikeja. Now, from when you're connecting from this point between that separates you from Ogba and Omole axis, that's a mini roundabout there. There's slight traffic there that connects you to Latif Jakonde. Now, from the point where we have the Acme bus stop, just after that, there's free-flowing traffic, thankfully, all through the Central Mosque, all through to where you get off LTV, all through till you get to the point, the traffic light that leads you to connect through to Ojota or Rego. Now, there's a bit of traffic at that point. Not sure what is causing it, but once you get on Kudirat Abiola Way, thankfully, there's free-flowing traffic. So if you're around the axis, if you're around Oregon at this point, you might want to head out now. But there's slight traffic at the Oregon Senior and Junior Secondary School. There's slight traffic, but it eases up all through till you get to Ojota bus stop. Now, there's a lot of construction going on at that point, which explains the traffic that I am seeing here. It picks up from, the traffic starts from Tipa Garage all the way through till you get off the Ojota and you approach Maryland. Now, from Maryland all through Ikorodu Road, at this point, thankfully, it's free-flowing from what I'm saying. So if you're around Maryland Mall, if you're around Anthony, you might want to just head out now all through Ilukpeju. But shortly after Ilukpeju, there's a bit of traffic at that point. Not sure what's causing it there, but thankfully it eases up, but picks up again at Palm Grove. From what I'm seeing, there's a lot of traffic at Palm Grove. But as you approach Jibowo, thankfully it is free all the way through to Ojuelegba. Pockets of traffic here and there. But it gets better at the National Stadium, but it picks up again at Ikpori towards the Estate Mosque there, the Ikpori Market, Apapa Axis, and you climb the Eco Bridge. There's a lot of traffic at that point. Akpobon, all the way till you get to the UBA building. It eases up, but then at that point, now usually I would say you come off and get a tricycle and the rest, but we know what is going on. So you might just want to exercise a little patience and you will get to your destination in good time, hopefully. While I get other routes, let's see if before Titi and the rest will attack me, I hope you guys have a little more updates for me.
We're not planning to attack you, not yet. Not yet.
Instead, looking forward to you joining us here.
Yes. You better get here so the attack can begin.
Because there's fire on the mountain. Okay, so hashtag Shagamu on fire is trending. Sister and brother.
She landed it. Like,
it is no longer funny. So we try as much as possible being, an entertainment show to avoid heavy topics, but this is becoming worrisome. Sorry, Dan.
Thanks, Billy. Yeah.
This is insane. Like, people are dying, and it's no longer funny. I used to look at this SARS thing as, okay, it's probably some bad eggs, everything is going to be fine, everything will be fixed. But do you know that I know at least 2 people that have been harassed? And it's very annoying sometimes when you even hear things like, oh, don't worry, we have it under control. My sister was wearing a black band, and she was stopped by officers saying, don't you know that wearing black band is cultist sign?
Oh, wow.
And then she was told to kneel down. Like, she was really, like, so many crazy things happened to her that day. But thankfully, she was able to get out. And guess what? Nobody gets involved. So when it's happening, say, here, everyone around minds their business because they are afraid.
They're afraid, yes.
So if anything happens to you, it's usually when they have left.
They will come and
then everybody starts saying, I want people, Isha. Nobody stands up for whoever is being harassed.
But you can't even blame them because they stand a risk of probably getting shot, and then they would leave you that something was happening to and attack them.
And funny you would say this, the people who protested over the killing of the footballer, they were also being shot at.
Do you get?
It's now
it's
not
alarming.
something to be ignored.
It's alarming.
Yes, it's really alarming.
You see, yes. What I can say recently that has happened is that now we have issues of such officers being prosecuted.
Yes.
We have, it's on the rise that such officers, when it happens, before we wouldn't hear so much about what's happening after, but then now we know that these kind of things now, there are repercussions. Yes. And that is what we're trying to, that's what the IG is trying to talk about. And the directors of the agencies saying that, look, yes, these things happen, they are bad eggs, but we're doing our best, which we can see they are. When these officers are caught, anyone that harasses you and is investigated, such repercussions or punitive measures will be meted out to such an erring officer. And let's hopefully the police force and all our security agencies, hopefully they get to protect us as they should.
The police force, in truth, they are doing their best.
Yeah.
But there's a need for there to be somebody set up just to monitor most of these officers, more like monitor yourselves.
Yeah.
Because you get to a police station and you'd realize that what happens in the police station in most cases is very different from what you see on the road.
Yes.
They are serious-minded, hard-working police officers in the police station trying to get things done. Investigators and all of those, they are very busy.
Yes.
And so you ask yourself, is it that these guys that are put on the streets are different, like they belong to a different type of police? I've actually worked with some police officers and you would never believe they are Nigerian police officers.
For real?
Because they are so good at their job. They are so, in fact, you would be like,
jump in here. So online, what's happening is there's over 7,000 people tweeting about this, and they're also calling to celebrities to also lend their voices to it. So that's where I don't know. I'm sort of. It's like a two-sided coin here. For if one celebrity starts speaking about it, it'll get more awareness. But is that going to solve the problem?
Exactly, because I feel like we speak so much and then
we do nothing.
We do nothing because we don't go beyond social media. We just speak. And the next week, someone else is dying. And I feel like death has become like a culture where someone's death does not actually even change anything. He died now. Other people have died.
These things were what actually, sorry, 1 minute. This thing was actually what caused them deciding to bring people on shows. Say, for example, in your view, I know what's in there on radio, Max FM as well. You bring some of these police officers to come and talk about it. We are trying our best to also talk about it and push it out there. But there's only so much.
On the other hand, there are also some people tweeting, calling out celebrities that when Kobe passed on, they were tweeting about it. They were posting. But one of their own sports stars has passed on because of something, this relevant and the celebrities are not talking about it. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Mike?
People should leave people alone to
No,
tweet
but when
what
you
they
think
want to
about
tweet.
it,
See,
yeah.
look, you do what you want to do. I'd beg to differ on what Tokwe said. Social media has actually pushed a lot of things, has actually made a lot of things happen. In fact, we know about Segun Owosanya and Sega Link, who has done so much via social media. They've reached out. There's been a lot. I mean, you have incidences now that you can even see live. Social media has really, really impacted positively. Also, although of course, it does have its negative sides. But you see, the issue of tweeting and all that, look, it's somebody else's account. You do what you want to do. Let the person do what they want to do.
Yeah.
You have no right to tell somebody who you should tweet over and who. And let's be really serious. I personally, as much as yes, this is a start, this is our own. For the person, Kobe Bryant's life probably has touched him more, has impacted him more, and feels like for this one, I feel it more. That's up to the person.
True.
You know, that's up to the person. So, and, you know, because that same thing came up when Kobe Bryant came up. And I was like, I personally told somebody, I said, look, I know how much these guys, himself and Shaq, remember that, you know, the whole Kobe Shaq thing.
Yeah.
I know how much this guy impacted me as a player, as somebody we used to see him. I mean, this guy, he grew up in Italy. He knew how to speak Italian. He was inclusive. He had everybody. He was a daddy's daughter, you know. You see the way he took care of his children. He was a father and everything. And then coming out of basketball, he had gotten into quite a lot of ventures. So yes, he actually did touch a lot of people around the world just by being who he was. I mean, you can see Beyonce there and all of that and how much he meant to a lot when it comes to black community and all of that. So yes, if Kobe is the one that gets to me, someone like me, I feel like for all celebrities, that's just like the one that got to me the most, because yes, I can relate to this guy. I know how much he impacted me as growing up as a sports person and as a young man.
Okay, so it's okay to say that Kobe influenced us, is why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
But we must also understand where the folks on social media are coming from.
Yes.
So it's a case of, yes, Kobe influenced you, Kobe inspired your life, and, you know, so you have to talk about him. But this is something that affects you directly. It could be your sister, it could be your brother, it could be your cousin, it could be anybody the next moment, and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Because when you come out to say, oh, why would they do this kind of thing to me? Everybody's just going to be like, oh, it has happened to you now, which is what usually happens on social media. Now you're talking about it. Several celebrities have come out to say, oh, I'm on the road, I get stopped. The most recent, last week, was Mo Easy. This guy who produces, they were both on, you know, they were driving and they were stopped. And they were held that they must pay something, you know, all the nasty drama. So this thing is real. It's something we need to talk about, for real.
Yeah. So the conversation doesn't end here. We'd love to hear your views on this. Of course, you can use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We're going to be taking a quick break. We'll be back soon. Yes, I am. Now with me, I have the amazing Chimezie. He's a producer, songwriter, singer, and pianist per excellence. Now, even though he has an accounting background, he's the brain behind the new Christmas jingles for a particular noodle brand, and a couple of other things. You've been busy, haven't you? Please use your mic.
Yes, I have.
You've been busy, huh?
Yes, I have.
All right. So I know you have an amazing song to perform for us. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, the song is was a song I got during a time when I needed to seek God more.
Okay.
And it was just like a heavy stone in my heart.
Okay.
And so, because sometimes due to the whole distractions around, we don't have that patience to wait for God and to seek His face. So I was stuck up in a lot of things, you know, life and all of that. So, you know, things like that can bring out inspiration. So.
And you were inspired to title this song?
Heart Cry.
Heart Cry.
Yes.
We have Chimezie performing Heart Cry next.
Thank
Another brand new hour of Wake Up Nigeria is about to kick off.
Of course it is. Now, I hope you're able to get something from the last one, right?
Yeah.
What did we do? Of course, with birthday shout-outs. And we spoke about the trends and all that. So
we also gave you some traffic updates.
So definitely there was something you're able to pick up. Yeah.
We helped you chase away those Monday blues yesterday. Now we're back again to give you a great start this Tuesday.
Of course, you know how it is. Not just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, no Saturday and Sunday yet. But weekdays, you have to tune in 6 a.m. What you can do on Saturday is the Omnibus.
Yes.
That's what you can do at about 9 a.m. But then every other weekday, 6 a.m. I am Mike Mexicano.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Now, if you have to get moving, we understand. We get it. Just stream with us. Just go to tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, Facebook Live at TVC Connect.
Yep, and now on social media, sending your comments. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria, of course, on TVC. Now talking about social media, the social media week is ongoing. Yomi will be handling a panel this morning. So if you are around the island area, Landmark Hotel and all that, go get about 9 a.m. or so. Yomi will be handling that panel on social media week, Landmark Event Center. Social media week. You catch Yomi there repping. Just tell Yomi that we sent you.
Yes.
And, maybe he might be in a
the
good
session
mood.
should be starting around, I think, 8 or so.
Yeah, 8 or 9. So yeah, you can get on the move. Watch us while you're getting ready for the session. Now you can download on both Android and iOS stores and watch us while you are even there at the session.
Yes, indeed.
Now, breakfast. You know how it is. Breakfast and.
We're gonna have a tasty one today. You know why?
You know
why? You know why?
Is it the chef in
why?
That's my sweetheart is in the house.
Know why?
Oh. How you doing, dear?
Gucci.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Building this morning, and she's making Thai suya rice.
Wait for it.
Wait for it. Don't go anywhere. It's a terrific Tuesday breakfast with Chef Awa.
It's Awa we're asking, not you.
What?
It's Awa we're asking, not you.
Oh, goodness.
You don't know me, I'm shooting my shots now.
Please,
so that my portion is secure.
Jealous. You know why he's jealous?
He's paying him.
Exactly.
We have nutrition segment coming up today, and we're going to be talking to Dr. Ifeanyiwa Miyetti. Now, she's going to be talking on this controversial phenomenon called force feeding and its dangers.
I don't like that picture I just saw now.
It's happening.
Force feeding should be something. Now, after that, we have another musical act, this time from alternative soul singer, legendary Sonny.
You have the talent, you got the beauty, you got the wisdom, and above all.
Psychologist Chidibere Njoku will be here very soon. We'll be discussing a parenting issue and, of course, how best you can parent. And on pet care, I was at an amazing veterinary clinic not too long ago, and we're going to get to know what you need to know about getting a pet rabbit.
Head rabbit stew is sweet.
I said pet rabbit, not farming rabbits. Pet rabbits, Mike.
And of course, we will be joined by award-winning actor Emmanuel Ilemobayo. We'll be talking to him and seeing what he's been up to.
And today will be Friday, TGIF. You know, thank God it's Friday.
I want to touch on this force feeding of a thing. Have you seen it happen? Have you seen it happen?
No.
Have you seen the force feeding?
No, we've all seen it at different times now.
To pour the food into the baby's mouth. Okay, so my mom had a daycare for 8 years in Mushin. And we saw every shape, size of baby, right? Sometimes at a point, like 50 kids under the age of 5 in one facility. And there are just some kids that those old women say, you know what, if we don't force feed this child is not going to eat. And I used to watch these old mamas, like these big mamas with these tiny babies, you know, with cups. And they used to pour the food into the baby's mouths.
Oh, wow.
Because to them, their mindset is the responsibility is for them to make sure that child has eaten, right? So they say that only they can do it. Nobody else should do it.
They are right. There's an art to it.
Yeah, there's an art to it.
There's a skill. And I'm of the opinion that there's nothing wrong with it if you know what you are doing.
Yeah.
What happens?
Because sometimes some children, they fall ill because they don't eat.
Yeah.
Okay, so but you see, that's why I would want to defer to the expert.
Yeah.
When the expert comes, let's hear from what.
Yeah.
God, but if you say doing that expert thing, we'll tackle you too.
Okay.
Right? Because we need to know when they don't eat, what do you do?
Exactly.
I don't really feel force feeding, but then when the time
But
comes.
then there is Social Media Week. Our very own Yomi is
Yum,
taking a session today.
He's gonna make us
moderating. Yes, so. But it's a big issue.
I have to take news now, so we'll just keep up with this afterwards,
Yeah,
okay?
sure.
My name is Mary Bashua Alimi. The Edo State Police Command says it is on the heels of criminals who invaded Ubogwe community in Ovia Northeast local government area of the state, which led to the death of one Akindo Adebayo. Travelers were held down for hours on the ever-busy Benin-Lagos Expressway following the protest by youth of the community. Public Relations Officer of the command, Chidi Nwabuzo, disclosed that suspected headsmen had invaded Ubogwe community and abducted Mr. Adebayo, who was later found dead. He confirmed that it was anger over the death that forced the villagers to block the busy expressway in protest. The spokesman appealed to the people of the state to go about their normal duties with the assurance that the perpetrators would be apprehended and brought to book. Still on security issues, service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police have met with President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors. The details of their meeting has not been disclosed as they did not brief State House correspondents after the gathering. This is the first meeting after a leaked memo from the Office of the National Security Advisor informing the President of the dangers of allowing the Chief of Staff to interfere in security matters. And President Buhari has approved the constitution of a National Humanitarian Coordination Committee to oversee all humanitarian actions in the country. It will be chaired and co-chaired by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as well as the National Security Advisor. The committee will, among other functions, provide a national vision for humanitarian actions, advise on coordination and settle disputes. It will also propose policies that enhance seamless delivery of humanitarian aid, facilitate humanitarian interventions, and promote transparency and accountability. 2 other states in the region also held a public hearing on Amotekun, organized by lawmakers on the bill for the establishment of the security initiative. In Ondo State, different issues cropped up, but Governor Rotimi Akeredolu is optimistic that Operation Amotekun will help to reduce crime in the region.
That you want to protect must have a buy-in. If they believe in it, well and good. But I'm sure they believe in it. That's why you can see the people who have thrown in here, people who have come in to be part of this public area.
The information from River State will now bring them together and now finalize to have one formidable standard bill. Then we'll now pass any day from 26 we can pass into the law.
And in Osun State, lawmakers listened to the input of stakeholders and afterwards promised to consider their submissions before passing the bill into law.
In a recent discussion with my colleagues at the Conference of Southwest Speakers, I stressed the utmost importance for Hall and Sunday to come together and make Amotekun a resounding success. The level of acceptability by our people, devoid of religious and political affiliation, has further emboldened us to never stop until this is achieved.
If Amotekun works, investment window will be opened. Amotekun will give wings to our Economic and Investment Summit, as well as Osun Investment Promotion Agency, which are our windows to economic and industrial transformation.
And that's the news update for this hour. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the kitchen, people. I have Chef AY this morning. And so we're calling it Terrific Tuesday in the kitchen with Chef AY.
I wish my name started with T, because that would have been Terrific Tuesday with TT.
With TY.
Okay.
AY, sorry.
Okay,
I
it's
was
okay.
just trying to put T.
Sorry.
But it didn't work.
It didn't work.
Okay, so this morning, Chef AY is going to be making Thai suya rice. So tell us, what inspired the suya in the Thai rice?
It was a mistake.
Okay.
Like my friends and I were really hungry one day, and like my friend lives in Ikoyi, and you know Glover Court now?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so we're really, really hungry, and all we had was rice, literally basmati rice.
Okay.
And we're like, you know what, we don't have money to go and start buying cartons of chicken or whatnot, so we said, okay, let's go and buy 1 kg suya, and then see what we can do with the rice. And boom, I've never tasted anything like it in my life.
Ooh.
Yes, and then when I went to Thailand, I prefer jasmine rice to basmati rice.
Okay.
So I tried it again as an infusion.
Yeah.
And then someone ordered it for a party, and it was such a hit that became one of my menus that I do for people regularly. It was a hit. And you know when I say that, you know it's going to be dope, right?
It's going to be a real hit. Like.
Yeah.
Okay, so people were making Thai suya rice. We're going to go quickly through the menu.
Okay.
In case you're just joining us. So we have here suya
Yaji,
spice.
yes.
Yaji,
Yes.
very important. You can't make a Thai suya
Rice
without it.
Come on.
Yes, and then we also have
our suya.
Our suya, yes. We also have onions, pepper, carrots, garlic, eggs, and our green bell pepper.
And our rice is already on fire.
Our rice, yeah. So for people who don't like that, who want to keep it Nigerian,
yes, use any rice.
It's still achievable.
Any rice, yes.
Okay,
it's just I find that it's lighter when you use all this kind of jasmine or basmati.
Oh, okay.
You know, like our rice is a bit heavy.
Like bambi.
Yeah, it's a bit too heavy. So when you use this, it kind of allows you to understand and taste all the other flavors of what's going on.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? There's so much more happening. You don't want to go anywhere. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, Wake Up Nigeria continues. Yes.
Welcome back. Now, force feeding is usually a last resort for mothers or caregivers who are saddled with caring for a baby, a toddler, a young child who is a picky eater. It usually involves holding down the child and forcing food down their throat. In some extreme cases, it might involve blocking the air supply through the nose, leaving the child no other option than to open its mouth for much needed oxygen. Talking to us about this and, of course, its dangers is Ifeanyiwa Miyetti. Now, she's a certified nutritionist with a BSc in Nutritional Sciences from the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities in the U.S. Now, she consults at various hospitals for children of all ages, where she treats medical and dietary ailments. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
But the topic we're talking about now makes some people's skin crawl, you know, force feeding. So now I'm a mom, and I was taught by all the older women in my family that my responsibility is to make sure that that child consumes food.
Right.
However, that child is going to consume that food, they don't know. You just know that that child's not supposed to have an empty tummy.
Right.
So what are we saying here? Is it a hard no, or are there, in some cases, it could be permissible?
It's a hard no.
Okay.
Because the dangers involved and the risks of, fatality are higher than just consuming a meal.
Okay.
For children, their stomachs are so small that sometimes the preconceived notions we have in terms of quantity is not really what that child must consume. So sometimes they reach their limits and we keep going.
Okay.
Forgetting that stomachs are small, airways are still developing, and so many things are still coming up because it's a child. So for me, it's just a no, because there have been so many incidences of children who've lost their lives because of this.
Okay.
And the question that the parents always ask is, was it worth it?
Okay, so there are some cases where maybe if a child is ill, maybe has malaria or fever, and this child needs to take medication, and you know that this medication cannot be taken on an empty stomach.
Right.
What options are you leaving for parents in that case?
Consider liquids, consider fluids, consider semi-solids. And even if it means it's just the quantity that's just enough for that child to consume the medication, that's fine. Because if you think about dosage-wise, they're dosaged for children. And so there's not going to be an overreaction in the system if they don't eat the meal that you've prepared just because they have to take medication. So just getting them to get enough, because when someone's not feeling fine, food is the last thing on their mind.
Okay.
You're dealing with so much internally, and most times you can't speak out. So just give them enough to get them to go for the next couple of hours. And if you need to increase the frequency of the meals, do so. But don't try to get everything all in that moment. Sometimes you might lose your medication in the process.
Okay, you mean because the child will end up throwing up all the food anyway. Okay, that does make sense. But then in a case where parents are on busy schedules, there's no time. As in, really, there's literally no time. It's early in the morning, you're rushing to work, this child is going to go to the creche, the child has to have something in their stomach before they, before we leave the house. What are we saying here? I'm going to be, in traffic for 2 hours getting to work. I can't be thinking about that at that time.
And the honest truth is, if your child falls sick and has to be in a hospital for 1 week, somehow time magically appears. So we need to decide what your options are. A lot of us work, right? A lot of parents work. A lot of us don't have the time. But when you prioritize, time will be created for the things that are important.
Okay.
And for me, that's what's important for children, because they're so innocent, they don't have a say in so many things. You control the outcomes they have. Forgetting that in 10 years, 20 years, that individual is going to go out into the world. What are you putting out into the world? All because you said you didn't really have time.
Okay.
Priority is important.
Okay. I wanted to touch on something before it skips my mind. Since there are so many different situations where parents find themselves, where there is very little time. Parents have a set menu, or should I say a schedule for meals that they give a child. Well, you're supposed to. And in many cases, these children just don't like this food. Either you as a mom, you're not really cooking it that well in the first place, but the food is cooked, it's not raw. I mean, consume it. So what do you advise parents that find that they have a picky eater and they're trying to force this child to eat the food that they have cooked?
What I found is, when you think about force feeding and the meals that you're preparing, if you try something over and over and over again, change position, change environment, change the circumstances around the feeding expectation, that helps to prevent the force feeding. Aside from just preventing that, you begin to understand and learn more about that child that you didn't consider. A second thing to do is remove preconceived notions. For children, it's about nutrients, just like you mentioned, to consume, but to consume nutrients. So however you're going to get them to eat it, let that be the case in terms of nutrients, and not about trying to stuff it down their throats.
Okay. So it's not about quantity.
It's about quality.
Quality. Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to touch on the dangers of force feeding. We have to really just put it out there, how dangerous this actually is. What is the worst case scenario here?
Death. A child will lose their life. If it's not death, it could be brain damage. If it's not brain damage, you could slow development. If it's not development, the most common one is you just do psychological damage. You have a child who becomes an adult, who becomes a teenager, and just has a very horrid relationship with food. Will not eat certain things, will refuse to consume certain things, all because of the things they experienced as a child in terms of force feeding.
All right, now that does make a lot of sense. And of course, putting a hard no on it is important, because even the ways of old have been debunked, the myths have been debunked over and over again. And of course, even in modern days, so many people are trying to find solutions for parents who have picky eaters or children that don't like to eat.
And that's what I try to do with social media, because it's an avenue for you to gain good information, sift out the noise, and be able to learn more about the different ways that you could help children eat better.
All right then. I'll definitely be checking out the social media pages, and hopefully if you have questions about it or a personal experience, you should share it with us. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We're going to be having a performance coming up next, and I believe Mike is with our guest.
Legendary Sonny is up here. Now, when I heard the name Legendary Sonny, I was thinking that I would see somebody a little bit older, but hey, Legendary Sonny. How did the name come about?
Okay, 2014 when I won Coke Studio West Africa.
Okay.
So I was to perform with the Potoranking on stage.
Okay.
And after the performance, we were doing Alubarika, and I was doing the song on high tenor.
Okay.
So he had to stop the performance midway and, what's your name? So I told him my name is Sonny. He was like, no, I think there has to be something attached. There has to be a prefix to that name. So he was like, legendary.
Legendary.
So
and it's stuck.
He made the audience echo legendary Sonny.
And it's stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, how's it been since after the competition? How's the hustle in music been?
It's been amazing. It's not been easy, but it has been amazing. You know, nothing good comes easy.
At all, especially music. I know that it's extremely competitive and all of that.
And then my genre music is a classic soul music. We know it's not like the most preferred
pop, yes, it's not like
in
pop
this
music
part of
and
the
all of that,
world.
exactly.
But it's been amazing, honestly.
So how have you been able, since it has been like that, how do you connect with your audience? How's the public opinion been?
Yeah.
We know it's not so popular, the genre of music and all of that.
The truth is, to me, this is music. Yes, and of course, everybody have their fan base. You just need to locate.
Locate it. Would anything make you do popular music?
Once in a while, you have to diversify, show people that you can do things like this.
But you stick to your guns.
I stick to my thing.
What you believe in. All right, legendary Sonny. All right, take it away.
Girl, you need to understand. You're the one that I love. Only you I can trust. Nothing will fit to hold me back. Your gravity, they pull me down. Girl, I didn't miss you when I know fish.
Thank you for staying tuned. Now we talk parenting. Chidiebere Njoku is our guest today. He is the founder of Ciel, a project aimed at raising socially and emotionally aware teens in Africa. Thank you so much for joining us, Chidiebere.
Thank you so much.
Now, when we talk parenting, there are different scopes to it, but I know today you want to talk about extreme and unhealthy expectations from children. So how would you manage that, especially as a parent?
Okay, so I think that every parent's dream or goal is to set this, have these high expectations, you know, and then talk to the kid on what their goals are for him or her, and which is pretty, you know, ideal, yeah. But I also think that we have to create a balance, you know, so that we don't overstress, overburden these kids with expectations that we couldn't even, you know, carry while we were living, you know, while we were their age, you know. So yeah, so it's the idea to not be so carried away, you know, in building these goals that we forget that somehow this kind of puts the kids into, you know, necessary pressure and tension to deliver.
Now,
Yeah.
what would you describe as extreme when it comes to expectations from children?
Okay, so I think that. Okay, I am growing up, and even up until this moment, I haven't heard the story of a parent who took the second position or who finished second in class. So every parent seemed to finish first. My dad would tell us stories that he took the first position from 1 to.
Did you ever see school results?
Exactly. So
no,
I didn't.
you might have.
Well, so he says, that he kept taking the first position, and Fabian Osuji, who was taking the second position. And then I see Fabian Osuji as a Minister of Education on TV, and I'm like, and you're just my dad. You know, you were taking the first position.
Class graduates who don't have jobs.
I know, but that's on a very light note. But then I realized that it would have been okay also for these parents who tell these stories to their children to also tell them their failures, so that, because when you're raising a child, what you have is a child.
But you're living his failure.
I'm living his.
Yes, because you talked about the fact that you look at the guy on TV as a minister, so that's already.
No, that was on a very light note actually. That was humor. Okay, so basically, you know, you don't tell them all the good things, you know, that you went through. Also tell them the bad things. Tell them the struggles. Tell them how you were able to hurdle past a challenge. Tell them how you failed and how you picked yourself up. Tell them how you didn't make it to classes, and this was how you paid for those shortcomings, you know, and these were the disadvantages and the demerits. So they can learn, so you have a holistic tale. So because I don't think there's anything, there's no beauty to perfection. You know, if you're talking of beauty, it's an imperfect thing. You know, so you don't tell a child that all through your journey you didn't have a hassle with education or with maths or with English. You were not flogged in school. Everything just went so rosy. I mean, that kid needs to be exposed to conditions where, you know, when he gets to them, he has already built the antidote to take care of them.
So that takes me back again to the question, Chidebere. What are extreme and unhealthy expectations?
Okay.
What are those things? So we'll take each of them and then we'll look at how parents can better handle them.
Okay, so they are not laid out rules, you know, to say this is what the expectations are. But the idea is for you to know who your child is. Before you want to set these goals and expectations, yeah, you need to understand his temperament. You need to understand his personality. You need to understand how he's wired, his physiological makeup, his psychological makeup. If your kid is not very tall, I don't think, you know, you should be thinking of him to. Of course, I've seen some average height individuals who are in basketball, but his physiological makeup puts you in a place where you have to reconsider if you had all the plans, or, you know, for him to say, okay, yeah, this is what you should be looking at. If you're flexible this way, this is what you should be looking at. So understanding the child's temperament and personality puts you on a very, you know, good platform to know what kind of measures or expectations, you know.
Okay, so I, as a parent, I'm looking at you right now and I'm saying to myself that here are things I would like my daughter or my son to achieve in life. Now, how can I identify some of these things that are too extreme, that are unhealthy? Keep in mind, say for example, a Tyson Fury, his dad is passionate about boxing. His younger brother is also a boxer. Now, if, for example, Tyson says, I don't want to box, I have no interest in it, his dad looks at him and says, you have to do it. He's a success now. He's doing great. He enjoys it. You know, some children need to be pushed. So you as a parent need to know which child actually needs to be pushed. But how do you then identify the child who needs to be pushed? Not a child who probably you shouldn't even bother yourself. This child isn't going to do this. Because you talked about the physiological makeup. There are some children who go the extreme end. There are some people who tell you they studied law, they're doing music now. But guess what? In a few years' time, they fall back and start doing law. Why? Because they realize that perhaps this is probably what I would enjoy to do. You know?
And that's very interesting that, you know, there's no one-way route to success.
Exactly.
You know, so Tyson Fury could be a lecturer in the next 5 years, and then he's gonna make like the most amazing lecturer ever, and then so much that we wouldn't even remember his boxing years. Someone like Julio Iglesias was a goalkeeper for Real Madrid until he had an accident that was almost fatal, that affected his wrist. So he couldn't keep anymore, and then so he couldn't play football anymore, and he became a musician. And today he gave birth to one of the most amazing singers that we've met in our time, Enrique Iglesias, and his songs were like legendary. You know, so now I'm saying that it's okay for us to think that this like based on what you're saying, that what if he has achieved his success now as a boxer? What if this is not where his main success lies? What if he would have affected so many more people doing an entirely different thing?
Well, then how do you identify that? I'll use myself as an example. I am this kind of person who I don't always figure out what's going to happen in like 20 years.
Okay.
That's the kind of person I am. I take each day at a time. It's a very bad habit,
No, it's beautiful, actually.
But that's the way I am. Okay. So I could wake up next week, everything changes. Now, as my parents, about 20 years ago, for example, you now tell me, you're this child, you have to think forward. What do you want to be in future? And I'm confused. And then my parents decide to take up the reins and tell themselves, this is what we're going to push her to do, which thankfully they did not. But imagine, no, seriously, there are some children that actually need that guide. That's what I'm referring to. So how then can you say this one is unhealthy? You shouldn't do it this way? Because there are parents that in that spot right now, Chidebere, like they don't know if they're going too hard on their children, or if they're doing it subtly enough, or they're parenting the right way.
That's why we advise the permissive or the indulgent style of parenting.
Okay.
Where you are a bit flexible with your expectations, so that you don't make them so strict. You know, and it's not about what the child, you know, how he does well in his vocation or profession. It's about the character, because that's what I'm really concerned about. So it's not that he becomes a president, it's that he becomes a good president. It's that he becomes an empathic president, an empathetic president. So you're not raising a child who is going to just get into the seat of leadership without his values. So you can imagine raising a...
That is what I'm talking about.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
The
so
values. What are you infusing exactly?
Yeah, so if you're creating values, because this is value on its own, courage is a strong virtue.
Yes.
You know, picking yourself up and not giving up is a strong virtue. But
Resilience
most times,
as well.
being and being... So if you find parents who forget these true values, and then they're so more concerned about, come back here, you know, with the first position. I've had a case in my neighborhood where a child came back, she changed her results. Now, her parents found out because the teacher called and said, see, there's been some anomaly. So there's some things don't quite add up. I would like you to come to the school. He gets to the school, and this kid had changed her result. He beat this child from the school,
till they reached home.
Till they got home. So when he was complaining to me of what the child did, first thing that came to my mind was, let this child move away from this conversation so I could tell you that this was your fault. If there's someone who's supposed to be flogged, is you. Because she's so fearful of what could happen if she comes back with these scores. But you should also let them know that, see, as much as I'm setting high standards for you to become this, I also want you to come back and tell me that the real value is centered on integrity.
That's what I'm talking about. So even as a parent, as you're trying your best to ensure that your child achieves whatever height it is you have in mind, you're also letting them understand that you would love them no matter what.
Exactly, that's the bottom line. So create those expectations, but look at the core values that matter, where you have integrity, where you have self-confidence, to be able to come up to tell you this is what happened, Daddy, but I think I can do better. Or you can actually encourage them. Learn to reward failures. I always tell parents, shake them when they come back with very bad results.
So basically, the best way to deal with extreme and unhealthy expectations from children is to just teach them core values and, of course, imbibe it yourself as a parent. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Chidi Ebere. All right, we'll take a quick trip to the kitchen right now. That's where the major things are happening. Talk by Alpha.
Mary, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. I feel like I'm about to start my cooking business. So, welcome back. Okay, we're just joining us, but you have missed a lot, I wouldn't even lie. But Chef AY and myself are having our terrific Tuesday in the kitchen. And we're making Thai soya rice. We're just going to quickly run through what has happened. So interestingly, our menu for today, before I tell you other stuff, we have yaji, carrots, onions, sausages, suya beef, fresh chili, sweet corn, jasmine rice, and green pepper. Now, something that is very interesting about this rice, it's weight. So it's really not heavy, and I like the way she prepared it. So she says you do them the same amount of rice is the same amount of water that you put.
Literally exact the same amount.
Still going to put one drop.
No, literally it might overcook.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so now what are we doing next?
So most people don't have a wok. Let me just start by saying that. Most people don't have a wok. So if you don't have a wok, don't worry about it. You can use your frying pan.
Okay.
What I find is that the wok allows you to use less water, and it retains the moisture of the meal you're cooking without burning it.
Okay.
That's why I'm using a wok.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be a bit authentic as well. We're doing Thai food, we might as well just
use
our wok.
Yes.
So this pan is very important to what we're doing. So as Tokpa just mentioned, we've boiled our rice.
Yes.
This took about 10-15 minutes to boil.
Yes, it did.
Equal amounts. So we put about 2 bowls of this. That means 2 bowls of rice of this, and 2 bowls of water of this. Exactly. Yes. And with a bit of salt. Cover it up and let it cook. Once it's cooked, make sure you fluff out your rice. Because it's not Nigerian rice, it sticks.
Yeah,
so it's still hard, but it sticks.
Okay.
You know me and my hands. I can always touch hot stuff. But yeah. So what we're doing now is we walk back on, and we're going to try and attempt to do some parts of the stir fry. But before we do that, should I just run them through what we're going to use?
Yes.
Okay, so just in case I can't get everything, what I'll do is once the wok gets really hot, We'll put a very little bit of groundnut oil.
Okay.
Then
So am I supposed to put this on fire?
Yes, please. I want it to dry out. I want all the water to go,
dry.
yes.
Okay.
And then once that's dried out, we'll put our oil in there. We'll put our chopped onions. Like, as you can see, I have 2 different types of onions. This is...
Okay, you know what? We're going to go on a break. When we come back, we're going to do the whole process for them to see.
Okay.
Is that good?
Gotcha.
Let's go on a quick break. Now, if you like to have fun the Nigerian way, we are your go-to destination every single morning.
Now, you really should tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another one that, of course, we have 3 hours of non-stop family entertainment to look forward to every single weekday.
Every single weekday.
Yep.
TVC, 6 a.m. That is all you need to know. TVC, 6 a.m. You shouldn't miss it ever. And if you can help it, well, we can actually help you with that as well as we go into this 3rd and final lap.
Of course, yeah. It will be lasting for all of 45 minutes. I am Mike Mexicano.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. Please stream with us if you need to go anywhere or do anything right now. That's tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook live at TVC Connect.
Send in comments with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Would love to hear from you. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than hearing from you.
Yeah,
actually.
sure. Definitely.
You know, so everybody's always trying something new. We have something amazing happening in the kitchen.
Just that I'm fasting, if not.
You fasting. When Chef AY is around, how can you be fasting out there? Why?
So, to watch more things like Chef AY and Talkware, you can download the app, which you can use to watch us anywhere around the world. And then, of course, there's going to be a little video. Now, it might be confusing or conflicting for some people. They are parrots, but I heard that rabbit stew is wonderful.
Really?
So, but calm down, calm down. Today we're talking about pets and all of that.
These cute and cuddly rabbits, the things you need to know as these cute little rabbits could be your pets one day.
Finally, we have award-winning actor Emmanuel Ilemobayo in the house, and of course, we'll be having a chat with him.
Friday, TGIF. You know, thank God it's Friday. Now this fine young man, we know Sabi bring him. And what did you go shop?
Do you have cow leg?
What an insult!
So, yes,
I'm laughing.
yesterday was my mom's 60th birthday. Happy birthday, mommy.
Say it again.
Yeah, my mom's 60th birthday.
Really?
Yeah, landmark.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
Oh.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mrs. Angela Mexicano. Yeah. And then, of course, so happy birthday, Mom. I love you.
Happy birthday.
And then, of course, social media week.
Really? We're just going to move on like that?
Yes.
Tell us your memories, your best memories.
If we had time. I'll probably do it tomorrow.
Okay.
If we had
You
time.
should have brought the up during coffee.
Yeah. No.
Why
You
do this? Forgive him, Mommy. Forgive him.
May was very passionate
have your
about
back.
May was very passionate. So social media week, of course, and there's a lot. What I love about it is the different conversations and panelists so you choose what you want.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be there and you are not at the TVC panel today, don't watch this show again. But if you are watching this show now, just go ahead there. Yomi will be, once you just see Yomi there, he'll be moderating that panel.
When you go there, say yum yum, then you know where you're coming from.
Wow.
It depends on who you are. Who you guys say yum
Don't
yum.
say yum yum.
But just say that we sent you and you enjoy the panel.
like-
You definitely would. You definitely would. Just that it might have started about now, so we will not have time to get there and all of that, especially with the traffic and all of that. But you can.
MM is supposed to be there.
Okay.
MM is supposed to be there
You
today.
might watch it.
Stream online.
Stream, yes.
Yeah,
You probably
follow the
could stream
conversation.
and follow it if you're not there.
Yeah.
But social media week and
And
that's all
talking
about.
about streaming, there was something I found out between that time we talked about the bouts earlier and now. So Wilder's fiance has come out to say he is going to Guess.
What?
He's going for a rematch.
No. Yeah, he has
He's
said
going for the trilogy.
Yes.
And Saudi Arabia has reportedly indicated interest. You know, I was talking about 250 between Tyson and Joshua. Guess what? It just might be more than that when their turn comes, because Saudi Arabia is offering 400 million pounds.
Goodness me.
That's a lot of money. Do they need assistant?
Assistant fighter.
You know what? When it comes to updates like that, we know that the sports team will have you covered and they'll give you all the details you need. And hey, at this point, it's time to take the news.
Thank you very much. My name is Mary Bashwa Alimi. The Edo State Police Command says it is on the heels of criminals who invaded Ubogwe community in Ovia Northeast local government area of the state, which led to the death of one Akindo Adebayo. Travelers were held down for hours on the ever-busy Benin-Lagos Expressway following the protest by youth of the community. Public Relations Officer of the command, Chidi Nwabuzo, disclosed that suspected headsmen had invaded Ubogwe community and abducted Mr. Adebayo, who was later found dead. He confirmed that it was anger over the death that forced the villagers to block the busy expressway in protest. The spokesman appealed to the people of the state to go about their normal duties with the assurance that the perpetrators would be apprehended and brought to book. Still on security matters, service chiefs and the Inspector General of Police have met with President Muhammadu Buhari behind closed doors. The details of their meeting has not been disclosed as they did not brief State House correspondents after the gathering. This is the first meeting after a leaked memo from the Office of the National Security Advisor informing the President of the dangers of allowing the Chief of Staff to interfere in security matters. And President Buhari has approved the constitution of a National Humanitarian Coordination Committee to oversee all humanitarian actions in the country. It will be chaired and co-chaired by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as well as the National Security Advisor. The committee will, among other functions, provide a national vision for humanitarian actions, advise on coordination, and settle disputes. It will also propose policies that enhance seamless delivery of humanitarian aid, facilitate humanitarian interventions, and promote transparency and accountability. And that's it on the news updates at this moment.
Okay, welcome back to the kitchen. I feel like I'm about to take over the world, but this is now my world. Okay, so I and Chef AY have decided that I'm going, so what do we call this now?
A walk.
The walk.
Yes.
So what am I doing? Am I walking?
Can you stop it? That's so random. But that's what the pan is called.
So am I walking?
W-O-K.
W-O-K, yes. So I'm going to walk the rice.
Yes, you're going to stir fry the rice.
Stir fry the rice. Yes. Okay, fine.
So we start with the onions?
Okay. So quickly, we're going to be putting in the onions. Oh, wow.
So this is original fried rice.
This is Thai.
rice.
You fry the rice.
Yeah, like it's fried. Yeah.
So what do I put in? Please, what am I putting next?
Next thing is the eggs.
Oh, okay.
You also need to put garlic as well, but we can skip the garlic for now because I have to help you grate that later.
Okay.
But you can put this in there. And you always have to beat your eggs if you're doing egg fried rice. It's very important. Beat your eggs until it's fluffy and then chuck it in.
Okay.
So keep stirring that up. I'm not putting no seasoning, nothing.
Oh, wow.
We're keeping the taste bland until we add our rice.
Okay, okay.
That has to fry dry.
The eggs have to fry dry?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is how we achieve the eggs and rice that we see in the restaurants.
You have to first dry down the rice.
Oh, you put...
Because anything else that you add can add moisture to your food, and you don't want the eggs to be a bit pete. Well, how do you say that in English?
I really don't know. But I mean, for every Nigerian watching, I'm sure you know what's pete.
You don't want it to be mushy. That's what you mean, mushy.
In English, it's called okrik butter.
Wow. Is what?
Okrik butter.
Wow.
How is that English?
Wow.
It's urban English. So when someone say, when you don't want to cook okrik butter.
Isn't it amazing how we've not done anything apart from put eggs and onions and there's still something smelling like...
Actually.
As though we've cooked.
Like we've put
the piece de resistance.
Yeah.
So the next thing... the next thing...
What's next?
Please, you
what
can't hurry perfection.
The peppers or the carrots?
Nice, whatever order you want to put it, apart from the onions.
So You just want to say whatever order I put in.
Yes, because we're leaving the carrots al dente. It's not going to get soggy and soft.
Okay.
So, like, it doesn't really have to cook for that long. And we also have jalapenos and green peppers here.
Okay, so I should keep the carrots for now.
If you want to. You're the one cooking today. If the guest complains that, the carrot is hard, that's your business.
Why are you putting me on the spot? I'm following you.
I mean, I've done my work. I've chopped up and prepped for you. Look at the colors of that already. The colors are coming out. Like, everything is just looking like it's a vibe. It's working out. Like, it's so simple. Then you can put the suya.
Oh, okay.
Because you want the suya to hit through the meat.
Yes.
You want it to get hot inside. Okay, then your carrots can go in.
Yeah. Okay, so now I can put the carrots now. Yeah. Okay. So this has been a very interesting journey as we're preparing our Thai suya rice. And this is really colorful and healthy.
And it's so beautiful. It's actually quite pretty to look at.
It is. I'm so excited.
So let me teach you a trick
of
why it's called the wok.
Okay.
You see when you see those
princesses? Flip it.
No, those chefs, when they do this.
Oh, okay. I won't try this.
See how fat the bowl is, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Because it's big, it will stay. It will retain it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Great.
I just have to do that.
I won't try it. Don't worry. I won't. Mike, why are you looking like it's paining you?
And at this point, you can add your yaji.
Okay. Okay, so this is like pretty much all we're adding now.
And then the rice comes in and then
the
we
rice
season it.
comes in, okay.
Cook it down and that's it.
So we're going to go on a quick break. By the time we come back, I'm sure everything here will be set. You don't want to go anywhere.
You don't want to go nowhere.
Welcome back. Emmanuel Ilemobayo is an award-winning actor who's been in quite a number of movies.
Now he was recognized as one of the top 10 actors by Hubbrave International and has also been one of Hip TV's top 20 actors. He's a model, does quite a lot when it comes to entertainment. He has been there. He has been there. He has woken up by 3 or 4 a.m. to meet up a casting or an audition somewhere and all of that. He has paid his dues. You know, just before now, we're talking about Israel, and we'll talk about it now. Acting and modeling and all of that, you've been around, in and around for a very long while, right? Let's talk about your journey through and the evolution of the industry, acting and modeling and all of that. Has there been some sort of improvement when it comes to how things are done, when it comes to the structure? Because that is something people complain about. How's the structure now? How has the evolution of the structure been in the industry?
Okay, yes. When I started 2006, it was like, wow, people were like, wow, 2006. People want to, in terms of filmmaking then, people just want to make film, no structure. No structure. So people just want to make film for love for this and everything. Everybody just want to make film. And then as an actor, you go to auditions, we'll get back to you. I know during the time I started, believe me honestly, when you go to audition, we have winnings, we have National Theatre, you know, and if your name just come out of, we used to paste a list of the successful cast that made the audition, not only the final cast now. When you see your name, it's like somebody gave you a gift of $1 billion.
Wow, it was
back then.
But that's not final.
That's not the final. For you to just see your name
on it,
on that list, it's like you're good to go. Then after that, you go for the final casting, and sometimes it's okay. We'll get back to you. And you know, in film, once they'll get back to you, believe me honestly,
they might not be getting
back to you. Yeah. So when I started to 2006, 2007. I left the industry because I was getting in this. Okay, we'll get back to you. How long? Some people say, "Well, guys, you're not big enough. You're not far." Some people say, "Change your name to some kind of English sort of." Yes, I got all that. You know, some people say, "Okay, because you belong to this tribe." And I said, "No." Some people say, "Okay, short your name." So like, I said, "No, I'm not going to do that." So I left the industry not because of frustration or thing. But I was like, okay, I have two people that walk up to me. I remember then. The guy name is Nehum. Nehum, wherever you are, thanks a lot. And then there's another lady, Maggie, like Emmanuel. go and work on yourself. I left 2006 through 2007, attending training, working on myself. Then my modeling career began.
And that's where I met you.
Yes, that's where I met this modeling.
Yeah, and he was the guy that was on every single catwalk. And we were like, well, who is this guy again?
So, but when did you come back? Into the acting thing.
Yeah. I came back to 2010, 11. Then I did a short film about election. Then it's called One Vote to Make a Majority. Everywhere I was like in thing. Then like wow. But my modeling career was good, man. Acting was my first love. Okay. So the modeling setting, and then it chose me.
I love what you said about working on yourself. I want to hammer on that. So that working on yourself, it actually did help to move your career.
Yes. And then I was, I worked for myself, attended a whole lot of training, the money I make and everything. But because I don't want to be stereotyped, when they see Emmanuel, oh, funny guy, oh, he's good in comedy. I was doing it, and some people call me, guy, you need to be a good student of history. I know people that started that journey of comedy thing, and then 5 years, 7 years, they become stale.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I'm a method actor, which means I could play any kind. That I'm funny, that I'm funny doesn't mean I'm a comedian. Don't say, okay, this guy can only play this particular character. Stereotype me into that. And now I took that decision and it worked. And some, okay, let me give you there's a producer. The lady said that she was on a plane and she saw the movie that I did, Mommy DRS. Okay. It's on Netflix and stuff. So Mommy DRS. Okay. So she was like, she called me. She said, Emmanuel, no, I don't believe this. You. And Mommy DRS, it's not a comic. It's a serious office role.
Serious role.
And me and Daniel DKD and Liz Benson Ameye.
You know what?
Talking about serious roles, let's see now. Let's see a bit. Let's hope that this one we're going to see is serious. Yes. Although I can't bet on it. Let's take a look at this.
Àṣírí tú mọ ojú mi ti rí àwọn olórí nínú igbó nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú igbó pẹ̀lọ́kùnrin kò ní ìrántí kí lẹ fẹ́. ìtìlẹ̀ ṣàmọ́rọ̀ pàlà ẹ jájọ mọ sọ̀rẹ́ kí mọ whatsapp kẹ mọ fún mi lóúnjẹ kẹ mọ fún mi lẹ́ran jẹ kájọ mọ jẹran kájọ mọ jẹun bẹ́sí.
Osas bene, ọgbẹ́wà yeye woman.
Ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ mi, we have become bestie like that o, best friend. Ẹ já mọ lọ lẹ́yìn, a lọ jẹran àbí, ṣebí you have meat in the house. Best friend.
That was
so
interesting. What did happen in the bush?
Okay, yes, as the Balogun. The Balogun went to enjoy himself. And there's this lady that has been trying to want to put some sign on. I was like, okay, you know how Balogun in Yoruba, like, they are very revered, like another god. So if this katakata busts out, Balogun life is to run. And for those kind of things not to happen, it's just like what happened in our politics today. We won't go into that. I had to silence.
And
the
method of silencing was interesting.
Was just something interesting. Yes. We're still talking, but let's head over. We have some quite interesting meal for you.
In the kitchen.
I hope you're not fasting. I hope you are fasting.
Yes. I'm even losing concentration because...
How can you be losing concentration, man? You're supposed to be focused.
No, I'm focused.
Okay. You're supposed to be focused.
Thank you. Please. Join
You're
us.
supposed to be focused.
Please take a seat.
Ooh.
Yes. Woo. Please.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Please, the 3 plates.
You want to?
Yes, no, it's for me, right?
Yes, it's for you.
Welcome you first.
Okay.
Welcome to the kitchen.
Okay,
Our chef AY from AY Subs made Thai suya special for you this morning. Okay. So she's going to quickly run us through how she achieved this. And then you give us your taste and you rate it.
First and foremost, I hope you like pepper. I hope you're like a true Yoruba champion.
I don't like pepper.
I want jata.
You don't like pepper at all?
No, I like... Hold it. For today, I would like pepper. Yes, I would like pepper.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is essentially like, if you like suya, this will be up your street. So what I've done here is I've infused Ninja with Thailand. Minus coronavirus. Do they ever have it over there?
Oh, please.
Okay. But yes, sorry, I just had to throw. I like think I'm funny. But yes, it's Thai rice with suya. So all I've done is stir fry with peppers. Sweet peppers, spicy peppers, onions. You know, I just mix it all up for you and just, put some yaji there to give it the authentic suya taste. So hopefully that won't burn your socks off. Hopefully.
Okay, any comments?
Any comments?
Hold it.
1 second.
You want some water?
What did you say? What did you say?
While he's still thinking about and trying to confirm, it's been
2 seconds.
Right, that's enough for us. That's enough for us. It's been a wonderful time on the show. A big shout out to everyone who was here, to Emmanuel and all our experts. And of course,
a big shout out to our friends at Homely NG for the kitchen accessories.
A big shout out to Chef AY.
Chef AY, we love you. We love you.
Back. We all love you back. All of me.
Watching today, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back again 6 a.m. tomorrow.
Now remember,
See y'all
social
next
media
week.
week. Social media week.
Go support your
Landmark Center. Just
say hi to y'all.